Okay, welcome back, boys. It's the much anticipated Spooktober live stream. We do it every year. This is the second time.
We're on it. Harry's got his anatomically correct t-shirt on.
Spooky dress.
For the season.
So, been looking forward to this one. Last year, we did 2 films. This year, we're doing 6 films. So, you're getting 3 times the content.
It's a spookathon.
Yeah, it's a spookathon. So, we've actually got quite a bit to go through.
Yeah.
So, we're going to do 6 films. We're going to do Our Point. We're going to do The Shining. We're going to do Suspiria, the original.
Yeah.
We're going to do Silence of the Lambs. We're going to do Kill List. And we're going to do
Bram Stoker's Dracula.
Bram Stoker's Dracula, 1992.
Yeah.
So, really been looking forward to it.
Man, 100%. Before we dive in, what are we smoking?
Of course.
What are we smoking in?
First things first. So, I've got my much loved, trusted Chacon Sabli Spigot. And I've actually got in something that I've not smoked for a while. And I'm saying about halfway, maybe 2/3 through. It's Byzantium, actually.
Oh, what a cracking blend.
Yeah, I just, I don't know, I just think I fancied Latakia, but not too much Latakia.
English and Byzantium, the Anglo-Saxons, Varangian.
Exactly.
I'm going with that. Yeah, that's good, man. So I've gone for 'Tis the Season.
Yeah.
I've got my Peterson Dracula 01, and in that I've gone for tonight another kind of spooky blend. We've gone for the Dreams of Kadath.
Very fitting.
Which I might just have a quick touch on before we get started, if that's okay. So, Dreams of Kadath comes in a great big. If I can get that on the cam there, but that is a great big chunky plug that has got it's a real surprise package. It's a Cornell and Deal, one of their old ones blend, elder ones blend, and it has got just an absolute chunk of everything. It's got the burley as you would expect. It's got a nice rounded orange Virginias. I think are in this one, similar to 3Ps.
Right.
It's got that dark fired Kentucky. It's got a little bit of black Cavendish to sweeten her up. It's got Perique in there. It's got some Catarini, a little bit of sort of cigar leaf in there. But on top of all that, it's kind of got this topping, whiskey, rum maybe. But you take a sniff of that.
Yeah, very interesting.
Straight off the tin, it's an absolute walloper, and such a nice smoker. The one thing that I would say about it is, what do we always say about Cornell and Deal in terms of moisture handling?
Yeah, we always say they come pretty well. Very good, level of dryness, like straight, ready to smoke.
Ready to smoke. This could have been made in the Gowith Hogarth factory. It's really dense. It's really syrupy, and it reminds me a lot of 3Ps in that sense.
Yeah.
In that very sort of thick, sort of cakey, stodgy kind of consistency. But man, I've been all over it this week. Wouldn't have it necessarily in a regular rotation. Feels like kind of like a pudding smoke, right? But it's a cracker. I'm really into it this week.
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I remember having a bowl a couple of weeks ago. I think we were watching maybe Kill List.
Yeah.
And I had a bowl. I enjoyed it. It reminded me of the Exhausted Rooster.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, very much so. I think that dark Kentucky and topping combination really sets each other off. So before we dive into the films, I've got a little bit of Sazerac Rye that we can finish off.
Yeah, very nice.
Some of which I didn't realise, but is Buffalo Trace's.
Yeah.
Distillery. Yeah. Some Louisiana style rye, but well in the Kentucky family. We got some guys on. We have got Callum Stokes. How often do you smoke pipes, guys? Wow. First of all, Callum, welcome.
Yeah. Welcome. Thanks for joining us.
How often do we smoke pipes?
Oh man,
that's a trick question, isn't it?
I mean,
Well, like daily.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, I'm a daily smoker, and probably like 2 bowls a day.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
that's fine. Which means it's more like 6 bowls a day. But I can space them out a little bit. Sometimes I kind of flip between that and a bit of snuff. But yeah, I'm probably a bowl a day, I would say. So we got Bourbon Neophyte. Oh man, so good to have him back on. Great to see you. Nothing like a bit of Latakia. Man, I tell you what, I've not got Latakia in this, but I have been smoking Awakened Elder, which is like the Cthulhu English blend, right?
Yeah.
It's like, again, like Lovecraft being a big Anglophile.
Good blend.
Amazing, lovely, big, heavy burleyed Latakia blend. Do you smoke in the car? Yes.
Yeah, I'm a fiend for that.
Anywhere, anytime.
My
Anytime.
car's got a constant room note. I do smoke in the car. Yeah.
St Bruno and a Falcon. Oh, that's English. That's about as English as it gets.
Oh yeah, that's very nice.
Guy's eating fish and chips.
Yeah.
St Bruno's his first tobacco in the 1990s for Bourbon Neophyte. It wasn't. Then it's not imported into the US anymore. Oh, it has made a return. That's good. I quite like St Bruno. It's like an old lad's blend, a bit like Condor, but it doesn't ghost. I found like Condor, it doesn't tend to ghost as much.
It's definitely an old man's kind of blend. It's got that kind of charm to it.
Yeah, and I'm here for it. And a good ride. Didn't find it very flavourful. Yeah, it's okay. I find it all right. I preferred the Woodford, to be honest. But we are not flush and replete with.
I know, like
with rye off the shelf here. Right?
No, we're not.
So this is from the supermarket. But it's okay. It's a smooth enough drinker. Great in a Manhattan. So, without further ado,
should we get into it?
Let's get into it.
So,
our point first?
Yeah. So we're going to do our point first because I think out of the 6 that we watched for this Spooktober season, both of us agree it was probably our least favourite.
Yeah, it was the weakest.
Yeah. So the premise is it's a South Korean Vietnam War film, which I didn't even realise that Korea was
right.
You know, the South Korean army was in Vietnam. I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
But turns out they were. And the main premise of the story is that they're receiving this radio signal of these voices of these soldiers who are asking for help. They're stuck behind enemy lines in the jungle, and they need rescuing.
Mm-hmm.
So the Korean army sends in a little team to go and rescue them. They make their way to this house, which is an old French,
like a colonial, homestead kind of thing, isn't it?
Right, and they set up camp there, and that becomes kind of their base for the rescue mission.
Mm-hmm.
They've got a week in which to do it. Spooky things start to happen.
yeah. Things go quite south quite quick, don't they?
Yeah.
Seeing things. The first thing is that like one of the guys who's been with them, they count the numbers and they're like, we came out here with 10.
Yeah.
Why have we got another guy? Where's he come from? It turns out he's one of the guys that went missing originally. Then he disappears. So that all gets a bit wacky, and then they start hearing stuff that comes through the old radio kit.
Right. That is American equipment.
Right.
This American. What do you call it?
Yeah.
The American. What would you call it?
Yeah, like a platoon. Show up, don't they?
They show up.
Don't touch the kit in the second floor.
Right. Yeah. He warns them, don't touch the kid. Anyway, spoiler alert for all these films. Turns out they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
They're ghosts.
Yeah, we've got some Sixth Sense stuff going on, haven't we?
Exactly. Yeah. They keep seeing this woman, this like phantom woman in the white dress.
Yeah. And they're hearing like radio signals, like some in French, some in American, English, some in Vietnamese,
right?
Some in Korean. And there's like these kind of harking backs through the eras, of what's happened. So this place has kind of got some bad juju.
Yeah, it reminded me in that sense of The Shining. Like you've got the house, and it's got some past, what would you say?
Some baggage.
Some baggage, some traumatic past that.
It's kind of repeated.
Exactly.
It reminded me a little bit like The Grudge. We mentioned it a bit earlier before we went live. Like it's kind of these harking back to these places that have got they've got kind of their own emotional trauma. It's kind of taken on its own sort of trauma. This place itself is a bad place, kind of.
Yeah. Well, I think, and I don't want to speak for you, but
you can
I would say that, you know, as us watching it, you know, European Englishmen, you know, Christian, there was a lot of Buddhist stuff.
Oh yeah.
There was the Buddhist temple where the incense is always lit, and there were statues, and I just wonder if there were some references and symbols that I didn't pick up on.
Undoubtedly,
not being, not being, you know, East Asian, not being Buddhist.
Yeah.
And I wonder if there were just some things that like went over our heads.
There's maybe some social context that would have maybe put some of that stuff in.
Yeah,
in its
and
right
just some
place.
cultural reference points that maybe we didn't get.
Yeah. But it felt loose to me as a film.
Yeah.
I think the narrative was a little bit kind of hazy in places, and like I don't mind things not being, you know, completely spoon fed. I quite like having to work at a film, especially horror, because I think like the more open it is, it's like, you know, you've got your minds, and you know, the imagination is more powerful than, you know, something that you could write and spoon feed to somebody. But I felt it was just a little bit underbaked. Reminded me a lot of Outpost. I don't know if you've seen the film Outpost with it was the security guy from The Other Guys who loves Kylie Minogue.
Oh, the Australian
yeah. Beautiful features.
Yeah.
And he plays. He's a special ops guy, and they go to this place. And anyway, and it very similar. They go to this bunker, and things start happening. It was kind of a World War II callback. But yeah, I just found it kind of missed something and missed a bit of glue to kind of hold it all together, and because of that, I think it impacted a little bit like the freakiness for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I think there was a lot of I think the tension was done well, and you know, like the gore and the jump scares were
it was all there.
It was all, and it was well done. It's just that I think the narrative didn't grab me.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I wonder as well, you know, because we're kind of going through the Call of Cthulhu game at the moment, and there's it's all narrative, right? So like, you have to tell everything through narrative. So I think if we're kind of getting used to liking that thread of narrative that holds everything together, and I think it was that was a little bit missing with our point.
Yeah, I think so too.
Good, it was okay, watchable, worth a watch. But I thought it was the weakest of the 6 that we watched.
Agreed. Yeah.
So
moving on. What should we go to next?
Silence.
Should we do Silence of the Lambs?
Let's do Silence of the Lambs.
So Silence of the Lambs, I rewatched after not really seeing it for a long time. I also read the novel, and I found that the film was a pretty faithful. It was pretty very faithful, kind of straightforward adaptation of the novel. Like all the right scenes were in there. There's nothing really cut out. I don't think. The only change that I noticed is that in the book, Clarice steals a horse,
right, rather
than a lamb, right, and the horse survives.
So is it the Silence of the Horses?
Yeah, I don't know, because I mean it's still the Silence of the Lambs. You know, like she sees the lambs ready to get slaughtered. It freaks her out. She doesn't like it, but she takes her horse.
Ooh. Man, I'll tell you what. I've got to say, I don't know if this is heresy, but I think maybe Jonathan Demme did a job there. I think that's improved it.
Yeah, I think I would agree.
Trying to take the sheep.
Yeah. And it
ties it together.
And it gets slaughtered anyway. Yeah.
Like when she's holding it and stuff, which we'll kind of go into a little bit later, maybe.
Right, of course, yeah.
But it's like it's personal to her. I know the horse is too, but like it's the Lamb of God.
It's a more Agnus Dei kind of thing. Yeah, agreed. So, I mean, you know, premise is, for anyone who doesn't know, it's been out for a while. Jodie Foster plays Clarice Starling. She's kind of a trainee FBI agent. She's also a psychologist, and she is chosen to interview a infamous serial killer and maniac, super high intellect killer.
Yeah, there is no word for what he is.
No.
That's how they describe him. Like
Yeah.
He's off the charts psycho, but he's unbelievably intelligent and perceptive, and his senses are really strong.
Yeah, and he, along the way, there's an ongoing investigation to find this killer, Buffalo Bill, who is stealing thick girls.
What a naughty boy he is.
We'll say, double C thick. He's stealing these thick, roomy through the hips. And he's making a suit out of them. That's we'll keep it as and that's
euphemistically.
yeah. And he's kidnapped this one girl. She's still alive. It's built into the narrative that he has to starve them for a little bit.
Yeah.
To make the skin a little bit looser, so and so that provides the narrative element that there's a ticking clock.
Yeah.
There's somebody to save. So Anthony Hopkins playing Hannibal Lecter is mentoring Clarice along the way.
Yeah.
So I mean, in no particular order of things to discuss. Amazing performance from Anthony Hopkins.
Bro,
just outstanding.
I think those two. I think the performances from those two are amazing. Probably one of Tony's like my mate. One of his best performances, and he's had some crackers.
Yeah.
He's in, as Van Helsing.
Of course,
really
we'll get on to that.
And he's in Bounty as well as Captain Bligh, and I really love him in that, which is great. But man, he just absolutely nails it. It's so good.
And it's like you said, like the way he. So I remember watching something to be introduced, and he chose to just be kind of standing in the middle of the room, which is
amongst the chaos.
Yeah, he's just kind of stood. Yeah, because she has this descent into the basement, which is, to use a Greek term, that's a katabasis, a descent into the underworld, which is going to be. Which, of course, the archetypal katabasis is the heroine of Hades.
Heroine of Hades, yeah.
But that's going to be a theme that we talk about a lot tonight in these films, the katabasis. So she descends into there, and that's where she meets her kind of a psychopomp, kind of this figure that leads her between two spaces, because she's going from the underworld, she's taking this information back to the it's a bit like a Persephone kind of deal.
Yeah.
To solve this case, and he has this weird relationship where it's kind of like fatherly, mentorly.
He kind of comes to her in the guise of a mentor.
Yeah.
But so he's been a practicing psychotherapist.
Yeah.
Kind of thing, So he's had a therapy and has worked on people. So it's almost like he's kind of going back into that. He's been able to revisit that role that he's had. So there's like this quid pro quo thing that goes on, where he's kind of probing Clarice for something, and he's asking her and trying to get into her head, which he does. I mean, he gets straight in. Like first session, they say to Clarice, her boss is like, "Don't let him get in your head. You don't want this guy in your head.
Don't give him anything." Yeah.
But straight away he clocks it that this girl, she loved her dad. Her dad died, and straight away he's in, and it's that kind of gets her when she's crying in the car park. She's tough. The first scenes show how tough she is. She's a bit of not quite a Mary Sue. They kind of build this sort of straw Mary Sue up, and then smash her down in the next few scenes.
She's physically capable. She's working out. She's running.
Part of the guys,
Yeah.
A girl among the guys.
But he cracks through straight away. And it. Like the way that the character is played, like especially I think if you compare the Hannibal Lecter of Silence to Red Dragon or Hannibal, the character is really different. I think he's more like a force of nature. And there's even a bit in the film where Clarice, I think she's in an elevator with like another FBI agent, and he refers to him as a vampire. Like he's talking to that vampire. Yeah. Like he is kind of like this.
Yeah, like a psychological vampire.
It's
like he's drawing stuff off you and out of you, and it feeds him.
Yeah,
it's that feeds him. That's a good analogy.
But also in physical terms, like he eats people.
And he's got this, like with Yeah.
Like the heightened senses, like you can smell that
the
she...
glamour as well.
And he's kind of an aristocratic, cultured figure.
Yeah. Man, that's a great shout. So one of the things that I picked up on with you, and I said, because I've seen it, I've seen it a million times, but like watching it again, is that I picked up on how Jonathan Demme, and I don't know, I'm probably a bit of a heathen here, I don't know any other film that he'd done. I don't think I've ever watched any of his other films.
Tell you.
I couldn't name you another Jonathan Demme film. But the way that he shot it, it's all about eyes. When it's those two that are on scene, it's almost like it's just those two in the whole world. But you're like this third person that's in there watching this gaze between them. And again, maybe there's sort of some like vampiric glamour stuff going on. That's all about the eyes.
Right.
You're under my spell, you're under my control thing going on. But the way that he sort of delves into the psyche, into the noose almost of Clarice, and draws something out of that for his own benefit, his own pleasure, if you like. But maybe he did that while he was in therapy. But it obviously it didn't work enough. He ended up eating them. Yeah. But the relationship between them is weird. But he kind of comes up like a mentor, like a dad was her mentor initially, and then he realizes maybe this is a way in, and starts to use that as a means to get in. He knows that she values Jack Crawford, who's a boss,
right? And
he uses that to kind of help it. I'm going to help you catch him, for you, so that you can progress. Don't you want to progress, Clarice? He's so cunning in the way that he weaves this web around it. But there are religious, quite a lot of religious imagery within the film. There's a scene where, in fact, most of them tend to be within the same scene actually, where he's in the cage and he's painting, he's drawing, he's sketching. He's got an image of Clarice after he's gone through all the trauma that she'd had held deep about hearing the spring lambs being slaughtered. And he draws her like Mary. Yeah, he does, holding the lamb. Yeah, which is amazing.
There's even one drawing where he draws her kind of holding like a baby him. Like a Virgin in Christ kind of icon, but it's her and him.
Wow.
But and there's even crosses in the background.
That's right. Yeah,
it's explicitly religious. Yeah.
And then there's once he's killed the cop. I can't remember the cop's name now. This guy from Austin Powers, London, England. And he strings him up like an angel.
Yeah. That's a great scene. Like he's been like forming a key out of a pen.
Yeah.
In the film, it happens much quicker. Like he steals the pen, and then like a few hours later, he's done it. But it says in the book that he's been working for it for months, and the only thing that he's got in his cell is that there's a nut on a bolt under his bed that's got a bit of a sharp edge, and he's been working it for months.
Wow.
That scene is excellent. Where he
just butchers this guy.
Takes his face and
Sergeant Pembury. That's it.
Pembury. Yeah.
But yeah, great scene. But for me, man, it is my favourite film of the three. I know there's the Hannibal Rising as well, which I kind of exclude. I know it is canon, but I kind of exclude from the canon. But of the three sort of original films, and I know that he didn't play Lecter first. It was Brian Cox, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who played him in Manhunter.
Yeah.
And I love Mads Mikkelsen, and I love the series. I thought it was amazing, and that kind of delves into the Red Dragon story later. But for me, it's still the number one.
Yeah. I mean, the other character to discuss is Buffalo Bill, which we touched on.
Yeah.
So there's a scene where they find one of the victims of Buffalo Bill that he's left in a lake, and they examine the body, and there's a chrysalis in the throat, which they take to an entomologist specialist. And
cheers, bro, good health.
Yeah, good health. And it turns out to be a death's head moth. And a little bit of trivia, but the Latin name is anthropo, which is the which is the Greek name
Greek, yeah.
for the fate that is responsible for deciding when people die.
Yeah. Very close to anthropos.
Right. Yeah. And it's the moth is a symbol for transformation, because there's the theme of transformation, because Buffalo Bill, he wants to make this suit so that he can become a woman. He's, you see him, like the famous scene where he's tucking in his junk and he's got the thing on and he's putting on the makeup.
How do we so hard?
Yeah. And then there's a second catabasis, because Clarice ends up at his place following up on a lead, and he's obsessed with these moths. He's breeding these moths, and a moth flutters past in the kitchen, and that's what triggers it. That's what gives it away. She figures out this is the guy. And then she has to go into the basement. Which is another another descent. That I don't know if it goes into it in the film, but in the book that's part of his ritual. This is like what he does. He lets them loose in there in the dark, and he's got the night vision goggles and the gun, and it's all part of the game for him. But she manages to pop him and get out. And it's a transformation for her, because that woman in the well that's the lamb that she couldn't save. Yeah. And she's able to have the lambs finally stop screaming. Yeah. So I mean, like you said, like we touched on earlier, it's probably an improvement by the director to make it a lamb rather than a horse, because the lamb, obviously it's got the explicit religious connotation as the Lamb of God, being Jesus, and it's an innocent. A lamb is innocent. It's young. It's harmless.
The white
blameless.
White wool.
But she's fine that through that transformation, going into the underworld, she's able to, finally make the lamb stop screaming.
Great film.
Yeah.
Great film. Holds up really well as well, I think.
Yeah, it really does. It's
timeless. Nothing about it looks aged or of its time.
No,
it's still very, very relevant today.
And it's tightly paced. Everything's done well. The
never drags.
No.
Yeah.
It's really tightly paced.
Good supporting cast as well. I really like Chilton, who's a complete sleazeball.
Yeah.
The way that they play him.
Barney.
Jonathan Neal. Barney's really good. Yeah. Thank you very much, Barney.
Yeah.
Oh man, just a great. Yeah. Even Crawford's sort of couple of scenes that he has. He's not in it very much, but you can see the influence that he has over Stalin as a not just a mentor, but she's almost a little bit starstruck about him. It's his behavioural sciences unit. It's he's the top boy, and that authority, that sort of natural. I was going to say paternal authority.
Yeah, definitely.
It's his household. There's definitely something of that. That comes through really clearly for me. Great film. I love it.
Yeah, excellent film. Right, should we
check in? Yeah. Okay. So we got we need pipe groups. Just says Callum. We are. We're part of. I'm on the Pipe and Pint Orthodox community on Facebook.
Yeah.
So that's a great community. That's worth a shout out. Ellis, who runs that, a shout out for Ellis. He's a good guy. So it has Berghaus, Cornies, Gore-Tex for smoking. Are they the best? Do you know what? So I've heard stuff about Gore-Tex with PFAS. I watched a documentary with how much PFAS gets washed off of Gore-Tex jackets.
All right.
Got into big trouble. Enjoy a pipe on the way to work. Get embarrassed. Oh man, don't be worried about smoking in public.
Oh yeah, I mean you get some stick for that. I mean I've had some stick. I mean eventually people get bored of it.
My granddad used to smoke a pipe. I get every time.
Yeah. But I mean, I never smoked at work, and then I got to a point where I was like, yeah, I'm gonna take my pipe, and you get some comments, and I think one of the main ones is that you're doing it for attention, It's an attention thing, but I think people figure out, after it's just part of what you do.
Not when you sat in your garage or you sat in your living room smoking. Like, that's not attention, is it?
I'm such a garage goblin.
Bro, you say it like it's a bad thing. Come on.
And I recently got a fireplace in there, so I've got the fire on, I've got the pipe, I've got the coffee. It's me time. It's the
cave.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good. I've got a spoon if you want it for outdoor blogs. Oh yeah. It's a bit of a collector. You'll have to let me know the size you can ping an email. Okay. Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
Pros I want to spray if you want for your outdoor blogs.
Oh yeah.
Oh okay. Yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Thanks, man. Yeah. Give me a review. So both of us used to be. I don't know. I'm still holding on to it. We do still quite like the outdoors. We get out and about.
Yeah.
We've not been out so much this year.
No.
But we'll get back on it in spring when it comes round. We like wild camping and hiking.
Yeah.
So we'll get back on that. But I've got to say, I'm kind of going back to like old school fabrics now, like canvases and stuff. I just find them a lot easier to maintain. A little bit. Okay, you're losing performance. I kind of get in comfort. I don't feel as clammy and as hanging in it when I've been out and about in some. Marcus Renner, hi lads, nice to see you again. Great to have you on with us, Marcus.
Thanks for joining us, Marcus.
Yeah, that's all good, bro. Great to see you out, Bourbon Neophyte. Really pleased you can make it. Got out of Las Vegas for a few days. Oh man, how's the weather out there?
Arizona Ranger.
Yeah. Mark, good to see you back, boys. Good to see you, fella. Callum, you're more than welcome to come down. You live a long way away. Yeah, let us know where you're checking in from, Callum. Sizes. Oh man, I'm a 2XL these days.
Probably medium large.
Yeah.
For me. Yeah. So, into the next film.
Next film.
What should we do?
Kill List.
Yeah, let's do Kill List. Kill List is great. So originally, we had said we were going to do Death Watch.
Yes.
Which is a good film.
Yes.
But we went for an English film. We went for Kill List. Kill List is a really unusual film. It's directed by Ben Wheatley of A Field in England fame. Yeah. Another weird film, which maybe we'll do another time. So the premise of the film is it's about this guy Jay. He's got a family. He's got a wife. He's got a kid. He is an out of work mercenary, basically.
Yeah, he's an ex-squaddy, isn't he?
Yeah, he's been in the army and he's been out for a while and he's been doing, hit jobs, basically. Anyway, his friend comes over one night. He says he's got a job, it pays well, there's 3 targets, in, out, over with.
Yeah.
And he proposes it to him over a dinner party.
He's in money trouble as well, isn't he, this guy?
Yeah, so exactly. He's been out of work for a while.
So it's tempting.
Money's tight, exactly. The wife is getting onto him.
Yeah, they'll do that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But, so, the job is proposed over a dinner party, and... Thanks, man.
Great dinner party, goes down really well.
Yeah. There's some unpleasantness.
Yeah.
But the friend, who is also an ex-mercenary with him, ex-squaddy, he brings a date, this woman, very unusual woman.
Yeah.
The woman scratches a sigil into the back of the bathroom mirror.
Yeah, that's right.
And not much is said about it.
Yeah.
It's kind of swept over. Anyway, they meet the guys in a hotel. He kind of reluctantly accepts the job. They meet what would you call it? The
client, I guess.
The client. Yeah. In a hotel. They get the information. These guys are very unusual. They look like sort of like old money types. They know a lot about them. They know about their history. They've got a past in Ukraine, as it turns out. And they know all about it, which he finds unnerving. Anyway, they begin doing the jobs. What's unusual is that the first one, it's a priest, and the priest sees it. Like the friend, by the way, is an Irish Catholic.
That's right.
And he's, despite the line of work that he's in, he's quite religious.
Oh yeah, of course, at the dinner table.
Yeah, he wants to say grace.
Yeah.
And Jay's wife, she's like, "Oh, we're not gonna have that at my
Don't bring
table."
that to my table.
Yeah, so she won't have any Christian prayer.
Yeah.
Anyway, this Irish guy, he refuses to kill the priest. So Jay has to be the one to do it. the priest catches Jay before he's about to do it, and he smiles and says, "Thank you."
Yeah. It's straight after Mass as well, isn't it? The older Mass is like just after they've held.
And by the way, this is filmed in Sheffield. Right?
Yeah.
So we sort of like live close by and work in Sheffield. So you end up seeing a lot of places.
Yeah. There's some location spotted it with, like, well, that's the mall.
Yeah, there's like, there's the church in Gleedless. Yeah, there's, I think we saw Spittle Hill, didn't we?
Yeah.
The old airport.
Yeah. Near my office.
Yeah. The hotel,
Waverley. The Mercure. Yeah. Near Wicker.
Yeah. And what, didn't they go to another hotel that was the Hilton, the Doubletree?
Doubletree.
Hilton, which is like up the road.
Right up the road.
It's really funny. Yeah. There's a bit where he's driving past the train station in the town centre. So it's, if you're from around here, you notice it a lot. But anyway, the second hit, it's called, he's referred to as the librarian. Anyway, they find out that he's into, we'll leave it at some unpleasant material.
Regarding young folk.
Yeah, right. Anyway, so they find him at his house, and Jay's really, really working him over. He's disgusted by it.
He's got a little lad, hasn't he?
Exactly, yeah. So, he's really, working his hair.
What any dad would expect.
Of course, yeah.
Would do, yeah.
So when his friend, Gil, is searching the house for whatever they need, again, the librarian, he's like, thank you.
Yeah.
Does your friend know who you are?
Yeah.
And like,
he's got no idea.
Yeah, this is like complete non sequitur stuff to us and to him.
Yeah.
Anyway, they take care of him.
Yeah. And quite a nasty way as well, doesn't he? Like, he takes his time with that one.
And then Jay takes care of his that operation.
Yeah.
He goes, he kind of risks drawing some heat, but he does it anyway.
Yeah.
Now things really heat up, and the tone shifts. I mean, it's been slowly shifting, but there's a real sharp kind of tonal shift for the third, which, what was it called, the politician or
that's right,
or the MP or something. Yeah, and they go to, didn't recognise the place, but they go to this big stately manor, big sprawling grounds, and there's a woodland, and so they
put it somewhere around door or top there or somewhere
probably.
Like that,
So they go in through. It looks like an old tunnel kind of system. Again, a catabasis, a descent.
Yeah.
And
they're laying up, aren't they, outside the scoping it out?
Exactly, they're camping out. They've got and then they set up the rifles with the scopes, and wouldn't you know it, there's a weird Wicker Man procession at night time. They
happens all the time in Sheffield.
It does.
It's driving down, you see them get out again, lads, are you? Yeah, good to see you.
Have they gone to procession?
Put some clothes on, lad, like catch the death of killed.
Yeah, everyone's naked. Wearing weird, like, wicker straw masks. Anyway, they perform a sacrifice. Jay's like, nah, I'm not, can't do that. Yeah. So he just starts, opening fire, draws a lot of heat. Yeah. His friend dies. They run back into the tunnel. Yeah. That's where his friend dies. He is rendered unconscious in there, and he's pulled out, and then he's drawn into the middle of this procession, this ritual thing. Yeah. He's forced into a knife fight with, it flashes up on the screen, the Hunchback.
The Hunchback, that's right.
And it's this Hunchback figure cloaked in a white thing. So
they're all masked.
Everyone's masked.
Yeah.
Anyway, so he wins the knife fight. In the most horrific part of the film, they pull back the shawl, and it turns out it was his wife and son.
Yeah.
And then he's crowned.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And it ends.
Yeah.
So,
and just as his wife kind of gets the coup de grace, if you like, she's smiling.
She's laughing. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're led to believe that she was in on it the whole time.
Yeah.
So, and he's crowned at the end as some kind of weird, like, inverted messiah. So the whole film was kind of like an initiation for him into this cult that he wasn't aware of, but for whatever reason, it's not revealed to us. He is their messiah, for want of a better word. That's
Antichrist.
Kind of an Antichrist. Yeah,
as in standing in a place where Christ would stand.
Yeah, And Ben Wheatley said that he based this on nightmares that he was having.
He did, and Lovecraft. He said he was a massive
Right.
Lovecraft fan.
Yeah.
So, and for me, like that narrative style of like something happens, like, well, that was a bit weird, and then that kind of that descent. It's almost like a literary catabasis, if you like. And again, I mean, he literally does that in some of his books, doesn't he? Like, I think like Rats in the Walls, where he kind of descends down.
Yeah.
And this obviously is catabasis into the tunnels.
Yeah. So yeah, and the thing is, this Kill List is a folk horror, and I think, horror basically is a dramatization of these core fears that we have. So, and I think the core fear behind folk horror is that, and this is something that Jonathan Pajot talks about. It's like when a new story becomes the cultural,
it's like the dominant narrative
foundation, when that replaces the old one, the old gods necessarily become monsters. So you can see that in Greek mythology. The world is run by these titans.
Yeah. Then
the Olympians come and they banish them to the edges of the world, and then they become these like monstrous figures. And we see it in Christianity too. Christianity became the dominant religion of basically the world at one point. But if we focus on Europe,
Greece.
Yeah, I mean, but even like Western Europe over here, like Christ had to replace the old gods, and these old gods are like forced. Exactly. Yeah. Thor and all that, they're forced to the edges, and they become like these, like kind of ghosts, monstrous things. Yeah. And I think the underlying fear of folk horror, like if you imagine Wicker Man, Robert Eggers' The Witch, this film is that
like the old world
is coming back.
Yeah, and it's a funny place as well as Sheffield, because it's got. I mean, there's a lot of England, and I'm sure we've got some English guys on here tonight. But we're quite blessed. And like Sheffield's got like it's a bit of like a meeting point in history. So there's a part of it where Mercia becomes Danelaw. It's like the meeting point. It's almost kind of where we think like culturally where like the North starts.
Yeah.
At the River Sheaf is where they had to sign a declaration between the two kings, King of Mercia and the King of
North.
Yes, that's right. Yeah. So it's like this sort of a confluence, this meeting of different worlds, and again that would have been part of that kind of
like liminality.
Yes. Yeah. It's like it's a transitory space between two places.
Yeah.
So it makes kind of sense that
it's a great point.
Will be used for that.
The thing about liminal spaces is that's where weird stuff happens, because it's like a passage from one to another. It's not quite one, it's not quite the other. Yeah. It's a weird spot.
And not a place for humans to stay. It's a transition. It's a transitory period. It's a corridor. It's a it's a waiting room. But something else is the other side. So that kind of makes sense that Sheffield would be used. And man, I loved it. Got a real Dead Man's Shoes vibe. I don't know if anybody's watched Dead Man's Shoes.
I watched that recently, actually. Great fun.
So good. Again, it's a really local one for us. It's the other side this time. It's Matlock instead of Sheffield. Again, spotting all the locations.
Yeah.
The ground on which we're walking is is old, and it's got these old world ways that are kind of stitched into it.
Yeah.
Interesting as well, I think, with Kill List, that there was no big name actors.
No.
It was very low key. The only guy that I really knew was I knew his old dear. I didn't know she was Swedish, but she was in the Descent, and that's also it's kind of got that sort of vibe as well. The Neil Marshall film.
Yeah.
So I'd seen her before, and the guy who plays Gil is. He's also he's in a Football Factory and a couple of other.
He's in a field in England as well.
He's in a field in England.
Something Smiley.
Right. Yeah. But that kind of added it a little bit to it for me, because then I'm not looking at the actor thinking, it's somebody playing a part. It was much more immersive.
Yeah.
Cracking film. Nasty. Really nasty. very much like, you know, kind of watching what I said about Lovecraft, the way that it kind of descends literally. I think the ending, how it all kind of focuses to the point at the ending. How else could you end that film other than where it ends?
Yeah.
It ends right where it needs to.
Yeah.
There's nothing else you can say. It just ends, and we both kind of looked at each other like, whoa.
Yeah. I mean, initiation complete.
That's it. Yeah. He's made it. Yeah. Big recommend. If you get a chance to watch it.
Yeah.
So it was a good one.
Kill list, Ben
Kill
Wheatley.
list.
Should
we
check in?
We'll check in. Yeah. Okay. So Callum. Oh, he's a Devon lad. Oh right.
Devon,
okay. Nice round there. Not quite New Forest, is it? That's the other side, isn't it? That's Hampshire. But nice. Spent a bit of time in Devon. On Instagram, we've got an Instagram channel, have we not?
We have. Not much on it. But we have.
We'll get some more stuff on.
Yeah.
So yeah, hit us up. We'll drop it in the comments. In fact, will it be on the community page?
We posted it on there. Yeah.
It's on there. So yeah, take a look, Callum. Hit us up on Instagram. We're on there. You can catch us. So next film, Suspiria.
Yeah.
While we're talking about kind of more supernatural.
Yeah, so Suspiria, that was a cracking film as well.
We both really, really wanted to do some giallo.
Yeah, we did.
Over this period.
And we fit it in.
Yeah. Not just because I'm a big Dario Argento fan, but also it's kind of like like it's foundational. Like there's a lot of sort of modern horror films have taken the tips from Dario. My first love was sound. And film and TV sound recording, and Dario was a big proponent in Foley and when using like the sound stage, and so I've always been I've been a big Dario Argento fan, so dived on it for spooky season.
Yeah, and a great choice as well.
So good.
So Suspiria, it's made in 1972, directed by Dario Argento.
Suspiria meaning size.
Yeah.
As in.
Yeah. So. The name of the film, as you said, is Latin for size, and Dario Argento took it directly from an essay written in the late 19th century by Thomas de Quincey, who he was talking about the idea of the Virgin Mary as Mater Dolorosa, Mother of Sorrows, but he theorized kind of in opposition, rather kind of a trinity of other feminine figures that I can't remember the Latin names that he gave them, but there was Mater Tenebram, which is Mother of Darkness, Mater Lacrimosa, something like
tears.
That, Mother of Tears,
yeah.
And the other one was Mater Suspirioso, or Suspiriosa, Mother of Sighs, and he did two other films that each one was attributed to one of those figures.
Not sort of direct sequels or anything, but kind of spiritual sequels in a way, weren't they?
Kind of like a spiritual trilogy.
Linked.
So this one was, named directly Suspiria Size, and that's reflected in the Goblin soundtrack. There's a lot of whispers.
Man, I love that soundtrack.
The soundtrack is great.
So good.
And I mean, spoiler. Right, let's just get into the basic premise. The basic premise is that this was her name Susie.
Yes.
Susie. Yeah. This woman, Susie, she's travelled from America to Germany to enroll in this prestigious ballet school. And weird stuff happens. Turns out witches. Right?
Again.
Yeah. So, what was I going to say?
Susie, American, she's gone to the ballet school.
We were talking about the Goblin side. Yeah, yes. So the it's kind of typical of these films from this era. Like, it reminded me of Taxi Driver, like the repeating theme, the motif. There was one kind of theme, and it kind of acted like a witch's spell, like an incantation, kind of repeated. So yeah, this girl, she shows up in Germany, and we see her, at the departures at the airport. So immediate liminal space, like we just discussed, transition from one world to the next, right? And what's happening? It's to use an English term, it's pissing it down, right? Right, absolutely torrential rain, right? And this film, I'm going to argue, is in the same way that Kill List is a pretty on the nose initiatory thing. Yeah. So there's a little flood going on. Yeah. And it, to use Christian terminology, we call a baptism is like a little flood. Yeah. I think it's a baptismal scene.
It is, and when you notice when she knocks at the door, she rings the bell, and she says, "Go away. I don't know you."
Yeah.
Like that's almost a direct biblical reference to knocking on the door of heaven and Christ saying, "Depart from me, I never knew you."
It's kind of it's a lot like the virgin, the virgins who
virgin.
Yeah, the ones that don't prepare.
Yeah.
They don't
the five that haven't got any oil. Yeah.
They're cast away from the bridegroom.
Yeah.
But so there's a bit of a baptismal scene which is an initiation. So she's begun a new life, because what baptism is about is it's a little catabasis as well, because it's about being descended into the waters, the transformative waters, that you pulled out a new person. Yeah. But this is not going to be,
which without being blessed are
just the water
dark.
Chaos.
Yeah, the chaos, the chaotic.
Yeah, because like when at least when an Orthodox baptism gets placed, you have the water, and it's anointed with the oil, but the cross is dipped into it.
Yeah.
And that is the sanctifying, ordering element. Without that, it's just water is chaos.
And an exorcism takes place at that point. So all priests in Orthodoxy are exorcists in essence. Not to the same degree, it's not. It doesn't look the way that it looks in like the Exorcist and in the exorcistic orders in Rome, but exorcisms are taking place within that, but not here.
No. So, but what is made clear is that she's moved from one space into another, and she's been initiated into something. But what yet we don't know. Yeah. As you said, she's turned away, and a murder happens that night. She sees a girl whispering some kind of incoherent stuff.
Yeah. Nearly 2 murders, aren't there?
Yeah.
It's cut up.
And the girl that is killed that night, she's hung, and she crashes through a huge stained glass window.
Yeah.
So this is probably a good time to talk about the architecture of the ballet studio.
Yeah.
Because Dario had it designed specifically for this film.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's not shot on location. It is a set.
I didn't know that.
And
wow.
Yeah. So the whole architecture of the film is designed like around a cult. The whole building itself is kind of like a big walk-in sigil.
Yeah.
So if you know anything about like Western magic, a sigil is a symbol.
Yeah.
That is infused with a certain kind of meaning and energy, and it's used as like a focal point to, by which to cast whatever spell or
So that's a function in a
right.
Yeah.
So the building itself is kind of this, because the stained glass windows. They're full of these sigils. Some of it is like Kabbalistic, and some of it is Enochian and things like that. So Dario has really gone into this.
It's so good. Looks very Hanseatic as well. The building, like the trade block, like the European trade block. If you've ever been around sort of the Baltics, there was like a trading block across the Baltics into. The Nordics, into Denmark, into where it came from, like Baltic Germany. It was the same, very similar. It's set in Germany, isn't it? The film, and in Holland the same, Belgium. So it's kind of got this very very strong European colonial look about it. I didn't know it was a set, man. That's amazing.
Yeah. So he had a big hand in it, and It's very similar to The Shining.
On that money.
I know, yeah.
It's shot on a shoestring.
Yeah, it's not a big budget thing, and then the architecture itself. So there's these, there's a lot of stained glass, which is it's a filter, right? Because light shines through it, and it's coloured in a certain way, so it's suggesting that your experience is going to be filtered through this building and what goes on in there. Now, if you pay close attention, it's kind of like the overlook in The Shining. So there's scenes where the ceiling seems so high and vast, and then there's scenes where everything seems to be so closed in.
Yeah.
There's scenes where like some doors appear to be huge, and the handle is not really on the right place for a human being.
Yeah.
And it has this effect of like unnerving you.
Yeah.
And unsettling you, and it's maze-like.
Yes. Yeah. Like there's one particular scene, and it's almost non-Euclidean.
Yeah.
Like this. Said to you like, what a weird effect. Which it's the bedroom, isn't it? And it's round. But the scene, similar to Kubrick, how he shoots stuff in 2001, and it's moving in the space, like the space station bit where it's all moving. It's such a weird, unnerving, unsettling experience to look at it.
Yeah, and that's not by accident, because part of occult initiation is the maze is a common theme in it. So like back in ancient Greece, they had the Eleusinian mysteries, where the initiate would be forced to go through this maze. Well, not forced, but you'd be initiated. Part of it would be that you'd have to go through this maze. And it turned out that the thing at the end was basically it was mushrooms at the end.
Yeah.
It was ergot, which is a kind of mushroom that grows on grain. It's got like acid kind of qualities, and that would be like the mystery at the end. Like, the big mushroom tree.
Yeah.
But he would be forced to go to a maze to get through it, because a maze symbolizes the kind of disorientation and being, it's again like a bit of an underworld descent in Calabasas, and coming out, that feeling of relief when you find. I mean, recently
it's only one way out as well. One way in, one way out.
I mean, just as an aside, recently I took the kids to.
You just chucked them in the maze, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, we've all done it.
We went to Stockhill Park in Wetherby. We went in the maze, and Mum was there too. And like within about 5 minutes, Mum was getting annoyed. I was like, Mum, this is what a maze is. You're supposed to get lost in a maze.
You can't say amazing without maze.
So, but that's part of it. The part of the maze is that you go in, you get lost, you get a little bit. You have that. What if I never find the way out?
Yeah.
But then you find the way out, and then that feeling of relief is like a small rebirth.
Yeah.
And then you're initiated into the mystery. So she is being initiated into this. Basically, this witch's coven.
Yeah.
And the architecture is symbolism of that maze, that descent into incoherence.
Yeah.
And it's an alchemical.
Yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
It's an alchemical concept. It's called solve a coagulum. Basically, dissolve and recoagulate. So
reconstitute.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the initiate is going to be broken down.
Yeah.
And reformed into something new, and that's part of the maze. Is part of that.
Yeah. So not going to go into it tonight, but I watched Neon Demon again. One
I
of my
watched
favourite
it.
films. Did you watch it?
Yeah.
But that's all. That is massive alchemical stuff that's going on there. The triangles and the symbols for stuff. Very, very similar. And I think that kind of takes bits of. I recognise bits of Suspiria in it.
Oh yeah, big time.
Yeah.
I mean,
did you enjoy it, by the way?
I did. Yeah. It's a weird film, and I'm not sure what I make of it, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. And I think like it's a beautiful film, like the way that it's shot and the mise en scène and the use of colour and light. Yeah. It's a great film.
Colour as well. Just going back to Suspiria, a big flavour. It's a big. It's almost like almost a plot device. Certainly a cinematic device that he plays with, these tonal hues. Very. Is it giallo means lurid? Like
giallo means yellow.
Yellow.
Yeah. Well, there's mainly reds, greens, and blues in Suspiria. Yeah. The greenness is kind of, I think, associated directly with the witches and kind of
like grot bags.
Yeah. Just like unnaturalness and the red seems to be when anything dangerous is about to happen.
Yeah.
And the blues come in a bit later when she starts to. There's the blue iris.
Yeah.
And then the walls themselves become blue. So basically, to go back into the plot, she shows up. Girls in the ballet start to get picked off.
Yeah.
In weird ways, the piano player bites in
the dog. Yeah.
But this Susie, towards the end of the film, well, actually, she ends up speaking to a witch expert, right?
Yeah.
So
in Geneva.
Yeah. So this guy who has studied witchcraft.
Yeah.
And just as an aside, right, I picked up that the Italian word for witch is striga.
Striga, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And I remember watching The Sopranos, and Tony would call his mum a streg. So I think that is like,
she is.
Yeah. So I think he's calling her a witch.
Yeah.
And it turns out
oh man, that's a great spot.
Yeah. In Romanian, strigoi is kind of a vampire.
Strugoi, yes. I think it is in Slavic, because that's a Slavic word. Yeah.
Which would make sense because Romanian is kind of a mix of romance.
Yeah, and it's kind of in the confluence of different kind of cultures.
Yeah. But she speaks to this guy who's
like Geneva, same. Switzerland, the same.
Exactly, yeah. He's like convinced that it's a legit thing, and he introduces this character of the what's he called, the Black Mother or the Black.
Yeah. It's Black Mother, I think.
Black Mother. Yeah. Helena Marcos.
That's right. Yeah.
Turned out to be a Greek.
Yeah.
And
like a head of the corn.
Yeah. And she started this dance school that was also an occult.
Yeah.
Coven basically, but the coven side kind of died out, and but it remained a dance school. But spoiler alert, turns out it never did. Anyway, later she finds that the girls' incoherent words from the start were actually clues to how to find the inner sanctum.
Turn the blue iris.
Yeah, and turn the blue iris. So she turns this flower, and that opens up this secret corridor, and we can see a lot of Latin and Hebrew inscriptions. So obviously Latin is associated with Western magic, but also Kabbalah, which is what the Hebrew is there for. It did say at one point interior occultum, the hidden interior. And I don't read Hebrew, but it turned out that there was a lot of names. There was like Adonai on there, which means Lord. There was the Tetragrammaton on there, Yahweh, Eloh and Elohim.
Yeah.
So names for God, because like in the Kabbalistic thing, like the Tetragrammaton is used. I know that the YHWH.
Names have power.
Right.
Yeah.
And
sort of Gnostic as well, isn't it?
Yeah. And I think there was the Latin word for bee in there, like the word apiary, apibum or something like that, because apparently the bee is like, it symbolises the hive, and that symbolises the coven.
Yeah. And the queen.
And the queen, yeah. Good spot. And then
gynocentric.
Yeah, it's matriarchal, yeah. And so she kind of creeps up on them, and they're talking about getting rid of her because she's getting too close. And she finds, like in the kind of the inner sanctum, she finds Helena Marcos.
But just going back to the corridor again, another liminal space.
Yeah.
It's like a transitory thing between two places,
and a
between
descent.
two worlds, and a descent. Yeah. So, and the way that she picks up on it is not initially by sight, because they can't see where these people are going. She's heard the rumours that there's something going on. She knows that something's going on. She's got a hunch. She knows that something's going on, and her friend starts counting the steps as she's going down the corridor.
That's right, yeah.
And then she works it out from that she kind of takes the same steps. So in other words, she is taking the steps towards this thing. That's a bit sort of mazy. You're working out which way you're going. A little bit like with Theseus. The strings of Ariadne. He's having to kind of find his way through the labyrinth.
Yeah. That's a good one. And just another point, like when she's kind of spying on them, it's not given like a lot of weight, but there is a bit of a Eucharist going on.
Yeah.
She kind of eats.
Yeah.
I think it's bread, and she drinks from a chalice.
Yeah.
So it's not given a lot of weight, but I think it's there for a reason, and it's there to And then obviously she does go into Helena Marcos's room, and she's able to kill her.
Yeah.
And that breaks the hold, the witch's hold.
Such a great film.
Yeah.
The shades as well, just kind of bringing it to sort of a cinematic point that, like, I said to you, like, when we were watching it, like, when did Halloween come out? And it was maybe a couple of years after. But it got real shades of that, like the early sort of slasher films, like the American slasher films. You could see they'd really taken the tip from Suspiria, from Argento. That sort of that pursuit style, and again with there were sort of links there with The Shining, the sort of pursuit scenes in that.
But
so good.
What I really appreciate about it is that Argento had clearly taken the subject matter seriously.
Yeah. He was all in on it, wasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, there is a tendency to think of like the pop culture witch as like a green-skinned woman in like a black hat and a wart on her nose, and she's some kind of supernatural figure that maybe she's born a witch and she can do magic. But Dario Argento took it seriously. Like, these are women who have been initiated into a cult.
They've come from one world and have been drawn into another.
And that these words of power are real. And these rituals, these sigils, these are what constitute magic, not like, lightning bolts shooting at fingertips and stuff. So and he clearly did his research.
And on no budget. It just shows what was capable. You think now, like with our sort of modern films, like the budgets that they've got, it's colossal. And it's a huge amount of money. Yes, spent on the actors, but spent on set, spent on CG, spent on marketing, and this guy had built this thing. I didn't realise he built the set as well out of it, but it had created this thing on virtually no money for what a film would cost. It was kind of went down okay, I think, in its time, but it was only until much later that people really switched onto it, and it kind of grew a bit of a lower C cult following. Man, I loved it.
Excellent.
I absolutely loved it. And again, just coming back to the soundtrack, Goblin, who did the soundtrack, metal band, but it was very, they play with electronics, a lot of found sound. There's this thing, this repeating theme. You talk about themes of breathing, like weird breathing. You talk about the size. It's like this weird breathing, almost like kind of the chain stoking breathing of the Black Mother. It turns out that it's the head of the coven, and you can't see her, but you can hear her. And like this thing about sound plays a huge part of the filmmaking process. Really adds to it.
Really beautiful, eerie soundtrack.
And very lurid, high. Cause the thing with modern horror, they use a lot of low frequency sound, which is great because you can't tell where it's coming from. It incites this kind of fight or flight reflex. Is this thing going to eat me? Is it big enough to eat me? Well, it's making lots of low frequency noise, so it could. But it's all like all the stabbing sounds, or like slashing sounds you used to use, like cabbages and stuff. It create these sound stages where the sound effects were hyper realistic. So they were very, very unnerving, very unsettling. He uses a lot of like meat. Like there's one where he slashed like the heart open, and it's really lurid and quite unsettling. Very, very hard hitting. And what was kind of struck me about the way that those scenes were filmed, where someone is stabbed, it's just like the camera's on it. That's it. Like there's no kind of artistic. It's just like stab. You have to watch it. You have to watch it. You're glued to it. It's very compelling. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. And although we're going to be getting out of spooky season soon, I'm definitely going to get stuck into some of the other Demon probably, and some of the others, I think. And Barbarian Sound Studio, which is a film about the making of the soundtracks of Giallo films.
I've still not seen that, but I know you recommended it.
We'll watch that. Okay,
Right,
quick
should we
check-in.
check in?
Yeah. Cut to the driving vid. Yeah, man. Well, we did a couple of driving vids over summer, didn't we? When we were
going to
out on the cigar nights.
night.
Yeah. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed those cigar nights. We'll get back on those in the when spring comes round.
I've been saying I would love to recreate the Sopranos opening scene.
Oh yeah.
Opening
the pipe.
it, but with a pipe,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
rural Derbyshire.
Yeah. So good.
I'd love to do that. Yeah. So, shall we move on to
Yes.
The Shining?
The Shining.
Let's do The Shining. So 82, I think.
Yes, I think so.
The Shining, Stanley Kubrick, adaptation of the Stephen King.
Yeah.
So apparently, famously, Stephen King did not like this.
Yeah, he hated it.
Yeah.
He hated it.
And he did this 3-part miniseries.
Cope.
Yeah, that was not well received.
Yeah.
To try and redo it, but it's. I mean, again, I think a film that was not. I mean, I know that I was looking at some reviews from the time, not well received.
Not well received. Yeah.
But a film that over time has, I don't think it's too much to say has achieved the status of masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely. There's not much. For me at least, there's not much. I'm an absolute Kubrick fanboy. A control freak. Probably psychopathic tendencies. I'm not listening. I'm no psychoanalyst, right? But this guy's got some stuff going on. Like he saw actors as material, and tools, so he would just use them to get whatever he wanted out of them. I mean, like there were examples of him using Shelley Duvall, like he would ring her up at like 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning. Whatever you're doing, get out of bed. Where are you? You should be filming right now. Like there was no filming going on. She'd turn up and then he'd ring up and say like, you missed it. Like then they weren't filming and it was really on her case, terrorising her. And then to Jack Nicholson he'd say, Jack, just do it. You know what I want. Just do it.
Yeah.
And then he was infamous for like shooting like 30 takes, 40 takes. Jack Nicholson would do 2 takes, like, yeah, perfect.
Yeah.
We'll do something wrong, that's great, yeah. So it was a real bugger for that, playing actors off against each other. Did it again with Tom and Nicole in Eyes Wide Shut. Long story short, they ended up divorcing not long after that film, and he really played on it. Man, he was a monster.
Yeah.
But he was also just the most spurgy, amazing attention to detail. Nothing happens in his films by accident. Every aspect of filmmaking, the eye, the lens, physically the lens. Barry Lyndon, he had to make cameras or use cameras from NASA to make his films with.
Yeah, that's one I haven't seen actually.
So good. Yeah. Long. It's a bit like. So I think that The Irishman is Scorsese's Barry Lyndon. It's long and it's quite slow paced, but very, very good. Like, beautifully shot. Sound. Music, everything that Kubrick used in his filmmaking was just absolutely on point.
Yeah.
And this is no exception. So, basic premise: Overlook Hotel. It's Colorado. It's right in the Rockies. I think it is right in the mountains. Very remote, very cut off. Beautiful hotel. Enormous. And they've lost their caretaker. They need Jack Nicholson to come and he gets the gig to sort of look after it over the like the off season, if you will. So he takes his wife and his lad. There are kind of hints between him and his wife that's that not all's not quite well.
Yeah.
He's quite hard on. He's been in the recent past quite hard on his lad Danny.
Yeah.
And Danny's quite an introverted little lad.
Yeah.
He's not a big talker. And he is drafted in to go. And there's this whole winding road sequence. Again, liminal.
Yeah.
You're departing from the city, maze-like. Yeah. Winding out in the wilds. And he takes residence there.
That opening shot, it's kind of like this disembodied spirit that's like, it floats over the water.
He's looking at it.
Yeah, so it's like this, immediately kind of like, what is this? And then, it's like you said, Colorado. The reason that I know it is Colorado is because when they're driving there, Danny mentions the Donner Party, to Jack, and they talk about it briefly. And this was a real event that happened in history where a bunch of people, they were traveling from, I think, Oregon, to California. Some guy sold him a map, and it was like, don't take the Oregon Trail, don't do that, take this path. And they went over the mountains.
Must have went off Thorsby Market.
Yeah. They went at the worst time of year that they could, and long story short, they get trapped in the mountains, snowed in, and they have to start eating each other. So it basically kind of foreshadows what is going to happen at the Overlook. So like he's having the interview with Ullman. Kind of on the last day of the season, people are leaving. You can see that Jack's got a bit of an eye for the ladies. He's like eyeing up the. We can see that the architecture doesn't really match up, like window, like where the windows are, like the edge of the where the edge of the thing should be. Like you can't, the windows show the. So the internal office. In Ullman's office, like it should be interior, but you can see outside and things like that.
That's right.
Jack is reading a magazine, isn't it? Is he reading like Playboy?
Yeah.
And there's something on it that's about Schminchmest. On it, it's like a story about Schminchmest.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, but this is going to play into one of the themes that people have picked up, that something untoward has gone on between Jack and Danny. Shelley Duvall, what was her name? Wendy. Wendy's reading occult literature in their flat while she's got fag on, and he's eating Danny's eating peanut butter and jelly. So we know that this family's kind of messed up from the get-go. You know, what does he call his shining?
Captain Howdy.
No, I was thinking Captain Howdy.
It's not Captain Howdy. It's not Tommy. Oh, go on now. He tells me things.
Yeah.
He tells me
the
things.
Finger. Yeah.
It'll come back to me. He's got a name for it, and
But he's been checked out at the doctor at the start. Tony. Yes, Tony. And then anyway, so they show up at the hotel, and they're being shown around by Halloran, right?
Halloran.
He's the cook.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah,
the cook. Yeah.
What kind of
cook? But he's showing them around, and it turns out that he has got the shining. Yeah. His grandmother had it, and they used to be able to talk telepathically, and he recognises that Danny has got the shining too.
That's right. Old jazz player, weren't he? He was a jazz musician.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Scatman Crothers.
Yes. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And there's a scene where he's talking to Danny, and if you look in the background, because they're in the kitchen, there are knives on the wall, and the knives are directly over Danny's head. Yeah. And he's telling him that, look, you're going to run into a spot of trouble. Yeah. You can call me.
Need me.
Yeah. And I'll come.
Yeah.
And then after that, they're locked in the.
That's right, in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Interesting.
But then after that, everyone leaves, and it's the three of them, and they're looking after the hotel. Yeah. They're completely on their own. Jack is supposed to be writing a novel. That's why he's there.
Yeah.
He's going to be writing his novel.
He needs solitude.
Yeah.
For writing.
Danny starts to explore the hotel on his own. So one theme, and it's actually something you mentioned earlier, is because there's explicitly a maze in this.
Yeah.
The hedge maze.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
There's a Theseus and the Minotaur meme going on.
Yes.
I mean, you got Jack Torrance.
Yeah.
Toro.
Toro. Yeah.
And there's kind of a scene where he's like looking over the maze, and then he's looking over a model of the maze, and then the film transitions into the maze.
Yeah.
That Theseus and Ariadne are walking. Danny and his mum.
The cursing of the sun.
And his hair is a little bit horned.
Yeah,
he's crazy.
Yeah.
There's a scene.
There's lack of control.
Yeah.
There's animalistic control.
Exactly.
Over, yeah.
There's a scene where Danny's in the gaming room, and there's a poster behind him, and it's a guy who's skiing, but it's kind of blurred, and the way that his legs are bent, and the way that they look kind of like a crooked bull's legs.
Yeah.
So there's all this like Theseus and the Minotaur imagery going on, and it's going to foreshadow the ending where he is chased through the maze.
Yeah.
So there's a maze in this. There's this is a symbol that's cropped up in all these films.
A lot of liminal space.
Yeah.
Within the overlord.
Of course, the corridors.
Endless corridors.
Yeah.
And them themselves, like the pattern that's all kind of geometric. This carpet pattern looks kind of maze looking. You know, it's very you know, it's very geometric.
Yeah. I mean, I think everyone's been a kid and they've been on their like grandparents' carpet and they've
with
like,
the cars. Yeah. And like each of these doors have kind of got, you know, they're kind of doors to nowhere. But like some of the doors that there was one particular room where stuff had gone on 267. They knew what had happened at room 267, and that kind of that starts to sort of play out. So Jack's gone. They're in the hotel. Everybody else has gone. It's just them on their own, and Jack starts to lose it. Yeah, Jack starts to get unglued. There's an amazing scene. So the solitude starts to play on his mind, and his psyche starts to fracture. His eye starts to separate. And there's one particular scene where it really happens, where the real falling off the cliff, like the all work and no play scene with the typewriter. And the way that Kubrick does this is so clever. He uses two pieces of music, one by Wendy Carlos and one by I think it's Penderecki, or it might be Ligeti. I know he liked both. I think it's Penderecki. I think it's the Threnody for the Victims of Hiroshima.
Okay.
An amazing piece, strings piece, horrific, really, really vicious, and it's completely superimposed over this Wendy Carlos piece, which is it's almost like I know it's not the Hallelujah chorus, but it's very it's like an overture. So it's very it's calling to God. It's there's huge religious connotations to it, and it's this splitting of Jack's psyche told in the two pieces of music that are played at the same time. One cannot exist at the same time and space as the other, and yet Kubrick just uses them both in the same place at the same time in the same scene, and it sounds horrific. And you can see it on Jack Nicholson's face start to split as he starts to really unwind. And it's that point where he loses the plot.
Yeah. And of course, I think it's prior to that where, you know, the bar.
And his missus has got on his nerves.
Yeah.
Look, come on. Taylor's all his time.
And there's the barroom scene, right?
And the barroom scene, yeah.
Yeah, so...
He's had enough. He's had a tough day at work, right? Missus got on his nerves. Kids acting up. What do? You go and get a drink.
Yeah.
Now then, Barkeep. What have you got that's good on tap? And he doesn't want to serve him to start with, and then he serves him.
Yeah. But he's a recovering alcoholic, right?
Yeah.
And the reason is because he got so drunk that he broke down his arm.
Yeah.
Or he hurt his arm.
He grabbed dislocated his shoulder.
That's it. Yeah. He grabbed him too hard.
Yeah.
And he pulled his shoulder out. So this is a big deal that he's gone back to drinking. And I think he has Jack Daniels, right? He's a shot of Jack Daniels.
Yeah.
100% so it's kind of left up to, are they ghosts or are they fragments of his psyche?
Goes to see Lloyd behind the bar.
Lloyd.
Yeah. Who is, as just an aside, is Dr. Eldon Tyrell in Blade Runner.
Oh, right. Yeah. Okay. Obviously, Danny's seeing the twin girl ghosts.
He starts seeing stuff that he's getting like premonitions about what's going to happen, but also premonitions of not premonitions, they're like flashbacks, I guess you'd say, of what has happened at the place. He starts getting to feel a little bit like our points. We can maybe link into that. That this place itself has got a darkness to it. It's not just what Jack Nicholson has brought to the Overlook. The Overlook itself has got a tortured past, and it starts to come, to sort of come alive to Danny through The Shining. Tony is showing him these things.
Yeah,
the blood in the elevators as the elevators lift, as they come up and the blood runs out of the doors. The two girls holding hands come and play with us. Danny starts seeing things that have happened in room 237.
And then obviously there's the scene where Jack goes into 237.
Gets his beer goggles on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, that's another Greek thing. That's a siren, right?
Siren.
He sees the beautiful one in the bathtub. And
she's got her makeup on.
Yeah. She walks out. She's walking over very seductively. They start to kiss, and then as he pulls away, she's this.
She's a minger.
Yeah. She's this decaying hag, and she's laughing and.
Oh man, that's so freaky.
Yeah, I remember. I watched it too young as a kid, really. And that scene really stuck in my head. I hated that.
You turned out alright.
Yeah. Nothing went wrong. So, that's a tough scene. So it culminates in him like completely losing it. Wendy manages to lock him in the food storage.
Yeah, so she finds what he's been writing first of all on the typewriter, doesn't she? And then she notices. I mean, she's already noticed that like he's back drifting. He's going back to how he was. He's had a couple of drinks inside him, and he's starting to act up, and he's sharp with her. And again, it starts off as just like a sharp word, and then it starts becoming more, and then she picks up what he's been writing on the typewriter, and all he's written on the typewriter is all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. Just pages and pages and pages, but in different configurations and like patterns in the writing. And he's not too pleased about it, so he just decides to get an axe and chop her up.
But she manages to lock him in the food storage. Meanwhile, Danny's called Halloran. He's miles away, and so he takes a plane and a snowmobile to get his plane's delayed and he's stuck in snow, but he manages to get there.
Something man magic.
Anyway. Exactly. But Jack manages to get out, and it's not really revealed how he manages to get out. Did the ghosts let him out? I don't know. Yeah,
and that's kind of like it's been well trod. It's a well trodden path for a lot of YouTube guys have had a look at it, haven't they? Like what it could have been, and have kind of got theories on it. Maybe kind of too dense to go into now. But again, nothing Kubrick did was by accident. He didn't make films with plot holes. So what was it that let him out? There are theories which are better. Probably go and have a look on YouTube and see what's what. But he's out. He gets out. Going straight from what happened in the films, like they offer him a deal to get out, don't they? To say, if you chop him up, if you off your family, and we'll let you out. You need to do this. And then all of a sudden he's out.
So like I'm not really sure what Kubrick was going for in this, but Halloran, like I said, he's made this like painstaking journey. And he gets in the house to look for Danny to help out, and within like seconds, he's gone.
He's all over the fences at Boundary Park.
So Jack's chasing him around. They lock themselves in their room. There's the famous "Here's Johnny" scene. They manage to get out the window, and they go into the maze. Jack follows them into the maze. Or it's just Danny, right? Where's it?
It's just Danny to start with. Because she can't get out of the window.
That's it. She follows. So Jack follows Danny into the maze. So there's a maze now. Everything is, kind of incoherent and weird, and Danny has the clever idea to like backtrack in his own steps to like throw him off, and he's able to escape, and Jack freezes him.
So he's kind of, which is kind of a weird. You expect like with like sort of modern horror films like a big ending. He's chopped up into bits, or somebody gets him. It's not really like that. He's a victim of his own. Like of his own passions, if you like. And he's kind of frozen out, literally frozen out. But it's kind of a really, like a really vivid. Shot straight at him, and he's clearly dead. But like the way that his face is all contorted, and he looks inhuman.
And then the final shot is a picture of a ball from the 1920s, and it slowly zooms in on this figure at the front, and it's Jack. Because there's this theme that you've always been.
You've always been here. And
he's doing this hand symbol with the right hand's up and the left hand's down, which is another alchemical symbol.
Baphomet.
And it's in the Eliphas Levy's Baphomet with the as above, so below, kind of thing. So you led to wonder, like, is Jack like some reincarnation? Is it some spirit that's possessed him?
It's left open, isn't it? It's not explicit. man, just and things are so densely layered in Kubrick films, and this is no exception. There's like there are meanings behind meanings behind meanings, symbols and imagery and sound. Everything is just so densely packed. There's probably PhDs in every scene, worth of study. It's so dense. Holds together as a narrative just as a horror film, but there are much deeper aspects to it, which kind of sets it apart from all the other films that we've talked about tonight. Typical of Kubrick.
There's so many readings of it.
But yet there are. It's been a film that lots of other horror and thriller directors have sort of leaned into. In terms of how he puts the film together. Just masterpieces thrown around a lot, but like for me, it's a masterpiece.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah.
And it's a film that it just rewards rewatch after rewatch.
Yeah. And you kind of get something new out of it every time you watch it. I think again, the sign of a good film. That there are things that you'll pick up on. There's the whole thing about CSA that's kind of in there, with Danny and his dad, and the stuff that's gone on, with like the masks when Danny's running away and he's seeing what's behind some of these doors, and it's bringing stuff back that's happened in the hotel, but it is also it's alluding to something that's happened between Danny and Jack. Yeah. So there's like this dual narrative that's been again overlaid on top of each other. These two worlds, these two things that are coexisting in the same space and time, which shouldn't. And it kind of leans this question that is it just Jack that's brought it? Is it the building? Is it both? What's going on? Is one exacerbating the other? Yeah. Is it Jack's presence which is bringing this stuff out? There's a talk about what happened to the previous Overlook caretaker. Yeah.
I mean, so apparently I was looking into it recently, one of Stephen King's criticisms of the film is that Jack is supposed to be this kind of family man who's really trying to make it work, but the influence of the hotel chips away at him and he slowly succumbs to madness. But he's like, Jack Nicholson's clearly like crazy from the start.
Look at his eyes, man. Look at his eyes.
He's clearly on it from the start. So
great casting. Yeah. Great performances turned in. Like Danny's performance, like how do you get a child to perform like that?
I know, but he was great.
So good. Shelley Duvall, I mean, like you can see how he's managed to get Shelley Duvall to behave like that. She's just because she looks haggard, she looks ruined, and he's done that to her. And Jack Nicholson's just Jack Nicholson. Yeah. But great, perfect for the role. Yeah. So well cast. Tiny cast.
Yeah.
Half a dozen. Yeah. Maybe half a dozen sort of 3 main characters. A supporting cast of maybe another 4 or 5. I bet there's not sort of 10, 12 people in the whole film.
Yeah, I mean excluding the extras.
Yeah.
Yeah, good point.
So the narrative hangs together on these performances. These isolated performances. Brilliant.
And
brilliant
great,
film. Yeah. Brilliant film. And that kind of brings us to the close of spook season.
Yeah. Have we?
If the jacket's any good, let me know tonight if the jackets are any good. Also, oh bless you. Yeah, thanks, Callum. Yeah, we'll give that a look over. Thanks, man.
We're on with Dracula.
Dracula.
Yeah.
Dracula.
So the final film that we're going to do, we're going on 90 minutes. So we'll end with Dracula, Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula.
Yeah.
1992, Bram Stoker's Dracula, as it was called. So the narrative departs from the novel in a big way.
Yeah.
Really, because in the novel, in Bram Stoker's, I think 1897 it came out. I think pretty straightforward. Dracula's a villain.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, to give a bit of historical context, Dracula is based on a real historical figure Vlad
Tepesh.
the second.
The
third.
Yeah.
Tepesh being the Impaler.
Yeah.
And his father was a Wallachian, modern day Romania prince who joined an order, the Order of the Dragon, which was kind of a Christian.
Voivods, weren't they?
Voivods,
So boy, comes to boy in Slavic was boy meaning like knight, like warriors.
He had boyars. Yeah. And it was in resistance to Ottoman
occupation.
Aggression.
Yeah.
Because I mean they were a vassal. Wallachia was a vassal state at the time, and to give some historical context, Vlad, as a boy, and his brother Radu were sent to the Ottoman court, basically as hostages. And apparently, like Radu ended up becoming a Muslim and ended up becoming close with
stuff went down there, didn't it, with the kids?
He ended up becoming close with Mehmet. We'll leave it at that. But apparently, Vlad was just like having none of it. Like, he was like really resistant to kind of being enculturated, and
it was a good Orthodox boy. Let's say that.
And when they were released and he came into his voivodeship, his princehood, he staunchly resisted the Ottomans and fought wars with them. And obviously, he was famous for his method of execution, which was impalement, like en masse,
which in itself was kind of leading to like a twisting of what was done to them. We think, by the Ottomans.
Yeah, and so that's a historical thing that happened. That's fact, and so
how do you stop a monster? And his point of view was, you stop a monster by becoming more monstrous than the monster.
Right.
And stop them from getting in the first place.
Yeah.
And it worked.
Yeah. And, depending on who you ask, in Romania, he's largely considered a folk hero.
He's almost a saint.
Yeah.
Right.
And I mean...
Not quite.
defender of orthodoxy.
Yeah, absolutely.
But Bram Stoker has used this, this reputation to form this monster, this vampire. So it's based on, and just a note on the etymology. So like, dragon, Order of the Dragon, the Dracul, from the Latin Draco, meaning dragon. But apparently also in Romanian, it has the other meaning of the devil.
And ul, as in like the, so they don't use the prepositions.
Yeah.
So Dracul, meaning the dragon, Draculia, of the dragon,
son of the dragon. Or, kind of in opposition to Son of God, Son of the Devil.
Antichrist.
And that is going to be that Antichrist theme, not necessarily in the biblical Antichrist, but in someone who kind of stands directly in opposition to what Christ represents. That's what we're going to see in Dracula. So, to give a bit of the premise of the story, Jonathan Harker is... actually, we should start with the movie start. So it gives some historical context that Vlad is... Because this isn't in the novel. Vlad is...
The opening is so good.
Yeah.
It stood up silhouette. So well.
Yeah. So Vlad is this prince, which he was historically, and he's fighting the Ottomans. He's doing really well. And it said, Anthony Hopkins tells us that vengeful Turks shoot an arrow through the window, bearing a message to his wife or his betrothed.
Is that similar to one of the not the Odyssey, but there's a Greek? Is that not Theseus? They tell him that they tell his missus Ariadne that he's dyed. The black sails.
Oh yeah, he says if he comes with white sails, he's survived.
Yeah. If
he comes with black, and for some reason the wrong sails come up, and his dad kills himself because he's so stricken with grief. But yeah, and anyway, so his missus, who's played by Winona Ryder,
most good.
Yeah, most good. she throws herself out the window because she believes that her husband or betrothed is dead. He comes, he finds out. Anthony Hopkins is there as one of the Orthodox priests.
Yeah, that's right.
Anyway, he
carries it well, if I say so.
Yeah, he does. So Vlad disavows God. He renounces God. He takes his sword and he plunges it into the crucifix, the cross, and this
in the sanctuary, isn't it?
Yeah, and this blood pours out. He takes the chalice, the Eucharistic chalice, and he fills it with this blood, and he does this,
imbibes it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
The blood is the life.
Yeah. So he's taken this anti-Eucharist.
Yeah.
Then Jonathan Harker in London, played by Keanu Reeves.
Now listen, I love Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
And I think he's got better with age.
Yeah, he
right?
has. Yeah.
This was not his finest hour with his English accent is.
Yeah.
A thing of ridicule on YouTube.
It is.
But I still love him.
But I will say,
pass.
I will say, the performance is a little bit wooden, but I think this plays into a dynamic which I'll go into in a bit. But Jonathan Harker goes to Transylvania, to Castle Dracula, to broker this. He's buying properties in London, mainly this Carfax Abbey.
Carfax Abbey.
Yeah, Carfax Abbey. And Dracula, I mean, he's weird from the get-go. He's wearing these the castle is completely archaic stone building. He's wearing these robes. He's got his hair done in these two buns, and he's super weird. No boundaries, no physical. But he insists that Jonathan Harker stays there for a month. So Jonathan Harker,
typical Romanian.
Yeah.
You will accept my hospitality. Yeah.
So he's away there for a month, and in the modern day he is engaged to Winona Ryder.
Yeah.
So
Wilhelmina. Yeah.
And so anyway, while he is away, he is subjected to confinement in the castle, and he mentions how. The castle kind of, again, a bit like The Shining, a bit like Suspiria. The architecture doesn't make sense. Like he's moving around and there's
the liminal ride between the two worlds.
Yeah.
He's going from England through Europe,
exactly,
into the Carpathians, which are kind of their own place.
And he says it's like the wildest part.
And again, it's a conflation between two worlds. You go up one side, it's Romania, or then Wallachia. You go down the other side, it's Ukraine. It's a place of different places and different cultures. This clash.
And of course, being the Carpathians, mountains are liminal symbols themselves because they go up into the heavens. So he's talking about how the castle seems to move around and corridors pop up and then don't really go where they should, and then he is subjected to, the brides of Dracula.
Listen, if you're thrown in a bed with Monica Bellucci, he's not made of stone. This is prime Monica Bellucci, by the way.
Yeah.
This is 1992 Monica Bellucci.
And this is another film that I remember watching too young. I think it was probably my first on-screen.
Wow,
so,
we were.
Yeah. So anyway, he's being subjected to these nightly feedings by these brides of Dracula.
Even with the snakes, man. I mean, even with the snakes.
And meanwhile, Mina is staying with her friend Lucy Westenra.
Yeah.
And she is kind of involved in this. She's got three suitors.
Yeah.
One of them is Jack Sewell.
Jack Sewell.
Sewell, the doctor. He's a bit too strict.
The understudy to Abraham Van Helsing.
Yeah.
We'll come on to later.
He's a bit too straight-laced for her. Then there's the dashing Texan.
Oh, go on. He was in With Nail and I. Go on. The actor, Richard E. Grant.
Yeah. Then there's the Texan,
Quincy.
Quincy Morris. He's kind of carries this big Bowie knife around, and
that knife's great.
Yeah, beautiful knife. He's got this Texan charm.
Yeah.
And there's also Carrie Elwes.
Carrie Elwes, yeah.
Playing Lord Arthur Homewood.
Yeah.
Anyway, Arthur Homewood wins out.
Yeah.
He gets the engagement.
Yeah, English Lord.
Yeah,
what we can do.
Got some cash.
Yeah.
But anyway. Keanu Reeves is able to escape, jumps out the window into the river, probably the Danube.
Yeah.
And he's taken in by these Orthodox nuns and they're looking after him. But meanwhile, Dracula has made the voyage from Transylvania to, would have been Whitby as it was in the novel.
Yeah.
He makes it to London. Anyway, he's feeding on the Ukrainian sailors in the meantime.
On the Demeter.
Yeah,
ship,
on the Demeter, that's right, yeah. And by the time he gets to London, because he's gorged on this blood, he looks the way that he did at the beginning of the film. He's
like
rejuvenated.
Yeah.
So he's walking around London as this foreign prince, and he bumps into Mina, and he makes it pretty clear that he's interested in her, and we can see that he's got control over the wolf.
Yeah. This wolf that's kind of broken out of the zoo.
Yeah.
The zoo's kind of all broken while all the animals have gone mad.
Because Dracula showed up.
And there's a little scene with Renfield, who was the previous
Jonathan Harker.
That's right. Yeah. The previous solicitor that had gone over there and had gone mad. He's now in the sanatorium getting treated in the way that they treated people in Victorian times. They put him in put him in a dungeon. Yeah. Played by musician. It's not Nick Cave. It'll come back to me. Like kind of American folk singer.
Oh really?
Yeah. It'll come back to me. Plays him really well as well. And he's hot. He's shouting through the window like, "Master, come and liberate me."
Yeah. He's eating flies.
That's right.
Yeah.
Great scene. And so all the animals have kind of gone mad. This wolf breaks out, sneaks through the bars, pushes its way through the bars and is wild in London.
And so despite her initial kind of resistance, Mina is also attracted to this guy, and there's these tender kind of romantic scenes going on. Meanwhile, Lucy, because she's kind of presented in contrast to Mina, because Mina's quite proper and quite and she is, let's say, licentious. And there's a scene where he bites Lucy, and he's taken the form of this, like a werewolf kind of.
Yeah.
And the scene is
Tom Waits.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I know who Tom Waits is. Yeah. Anyway, there's a scene where he bites her, and it's kind of got like sexual in nature.
Yeah.
So there's this theme of lust going on, but she is succumbing to vampirism, but no one knows what it is. So the Dr. Jack calls in help, the expert help, from his teacher, his mentor, Abraham Van Helsing from Amsterdam. He's straight over because he knows a case when he sees one.
Yeah.
And he's
Anthony Hopkins,
played by Anthony Hopkins, and he is initiated into this. He knows exactly what it is. He knows about vampires.
Yeah. Interesting, just as an aside, how both Winona Ryder and Anthony Hopkins are in the opening scenes playing one type of character, and then are brought back to play linked kind of characters, different but linked, and then the thread obviously is with Gary Oldman, who just nails it as Dracula through.
Another excellent performance.
So good.
I mean, I've never seen him play a bad role.
So good.
Yeah. Anyway, Lucy finally succumbs, despite Van Helsing's.
Yeah, he tries the garlic, doesn't he?
Yeah.
They put her in the bedroom, don't they? In that,
they're in blood transfusions.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
But there's this great scene where they take Arthur and down into the crypt, and the crypt is empty.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like this biblical scene, like, oh, the tomb is empty, but it's a gross inversion.
Yeah. And she's become like. You ever heard the story of the Bloofer lady?
No.
So that was like an English vampire tale. Right. Bloofer meaning as like a bastardization of a beautiful lady. A Bloofer lady, like the beautiful lady who takes kids.
Right.
And there's drains them of blood. And so they kind of lean on that a little bit in the story. So she's not there. She's not there in the crypt.
And then they hear, so they hide, and she's coming down wearing the kind of the gown that she was married in.
Yeah.
So she's like this bride figure, but she's carrying this little girl, which she's obviously planning to
like an inversion of like the motherhood.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
And luckily they jump out. She drops the child, and Van Helsing is able to get her back into the crypt with the cross.
Yeah.
She's back into.
Yeah.
There's a bit of an exorcist scene where she spits all the blood
Yeah.
out. But it's Arthur. He gets Arthur to drive the stake in.
Yeah.
Boom, 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 and then he takes the head, and so that's dealt with. Meanwhile, Jonathan has called for Mina to travel to Romania to get him, so that they can be married immediately. And they're married in an Orthodox ceremony.
And in theory, because we don't do stuff willy nilly.
They wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or off camera, he was made
Yeah.
while he was there. He would have been rebaptized. Probably then. Maybe cosmetic, but probably rebaptized, and they were brought in and married.
And they do it quite well because they have the
very,
crowns.
very well, the Stefano.
And they've got the incense and they've got the liturgical chanting, so it looks pretty.
And the litanies that they do on that are proper. They're the real deal.
So they're married. Then they manage to get back to London, and they're speaking to Van Helsing, and Jonathan tells him his experience, and he's like, I can actually tell you where Dracula is.
I knew where the bastard lives.
Yeah. Carfax
Abbey.
So, but meanwhile, Dracula is visiting Mina in secret, and this is another film where I think there's like a subtle shift in tone, because Jonathan and Quincy and Arthur and Van Helsing, they go to basically like sanctify or consecrate Carfax Abbey, because Dracula has to sleep in soil from his homeland, so they go to ruin the soil for him by blessing it and burning all his stuff and sanctifying the area so he can't sleep there. And while they're all doing this, and Anthony Hopkins looks so cool. He's got the crucifix and he's blessing everything and he's chanting in Latin. Meanwhile, Dracula is in the bedroom with Mina, and he's doing this. He convinces her basically. It's like at this point she falls in love, and he gives her his, evil Eucharist,
his lifeblood,
where he cuts his chest and she drinks of he's bitten her and she drinks of his blood, and he's offering her eternal life in the way that Jesus would, but obviously,
in the side.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But in the vampire is kind of the inversion of Christ, and that's why I think the vampire is particularly a Christian monster, because Jesus spills his blood to give us eternal life, whereas the vampire spills our blood to maintain his
life,
eternal undead life.
Yeah.
So she drinks of his blood. So she's now, so she's going to succumb to vampirism.
Yeah.
They manage to get back, and then he becomes this weird bat.
Yeah,
demon.
that's right. Yeah.
They back him into the cupboard, and he just turns into rats.
Yeah.
Great scene. And I mean, what I think is great about Dracula in this is that I think in the modern day we've kind of really toned down the vampire. The vampire is just this monster and it drinks blood, and maybe it can't go in sunlight, but Dracula is like a real force of nature in this. He can control animals. He can turn into
things.
The mean things. He can turn into mist, bats, wolves. He can control the weather.
Yeah.
He's a real
worldly power.
So now Dracula's on the run. He's running back to Romania. So the boys. So the tonal shift that I was describing is that in a subtle way, the vampire hunters kind of start to look like the bad guys.
Yeah.
And we start to be like, oh, he lost his missus and he's, he's soppy really. So he's this, in love, and he's this tortured animal, and they're the bad guys that come in to hunt him down.
Yeah, it's this sympathetic angle.
Definitely. And and I think Coppola really starts to push that kind of angle. Anyway, Dracula's on the run back to Romania. They're chasing him down, and there's this. They get to Romania, and Van Helsing is splitting off with Mina, who is, on the countdown to turn into a vampire.
Yeah, she's nearly there, isn't she?
Yeah, and she gets a little bit seductive. The brides of Dracula show up, and he makes the ring of fire to protect them, but they kill the horse to slow them down.
Yeah.
The next morning, he pays a visit to the crypt.
Yeah.
Got the cookery, the big Nepalese knife.
Yeah.
Takes some heads.
Yeah.
Throws them into the river. And there's a big chase where the Dracula's servants are trying to get his coffin back into his castle. The gypsies. Yeah. There's a horseback fight. There's like a shootout. Quincy takes a fatal wound. Dracula is injured, I think by Jonathan, but Van Helsing, but he manages to creep into his castle, and it's Mina that offers him this redemptive kind of romantic love, but then is the one to take his head.
Yeah, there's like this kind of this duality, which is kind of very at odds with the way that the traditional story, and I kind of imagine like the state of the heart and the head off, with Van Helsing, where it's not. They play into this whole kind of like the love wins the day kind of ending. It's kind of his. I guess it's kind of his spin on the tale.
But this like Eros kind of love that Mina is offering is, he rejected the agape of Christ. That would have been the redemptive love. And he's seeking it in this, what he believes to be the reincarnation of Elisabetta, his original betrothed, in this kind of Eros erotic love, which is not going to be to his salvation.
No salvation in it.
So it's an interesting, just as an aside, in the novel, the way that Dracula is killed is that Jonathan cuts his throat with his cookery, and then Quincy delivers the blow with a knife to the heart, so it's not a wooden stake. Right. So, it's just that's just a bit of a because you always think vampire wooden stake.
Yeah.
But anyway, just a bit of an aside.
Yeah, it's interesting how that's kind of come through the retelling.
Yeah. So, an interesting take, I
think you got a bit panned into it in the when it first came out.
Really?
I think a lot of people couldn't see past some of the performances that were turned in. But look, from my point of view, it's held together with Anthony Hopkins and Gary Oldman, who just nails it. There are things in the filmmaking which I think are just amazing. Like the music, I think, is really good. But the sets are great.
Yeah.
The costume design is absolutely on point. Yeah. I mean, I'm just going back to the way that they shoot the opening scenes. He's in like this sinewy, sort of muscular armour, like
with kind of bat ears.
Yeah.
Japanese artist.
She was Japanese, yeah. And she did the whole lot.
Oh, really?
She did the costume for the whole thing.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then when you see him in Victorian London, he's got the top hat on. It looks absolutely smoking.
Yeah.
Looks so good. But again, these contrasts between his, this warrior look to him, and this very sort of well-heeled prince with this
and the monster in the
castle. And this monstrous look to him. They really nail that dichotomy. It's really really jarring the way that they portray him in the different scenes. And there's a couple of things as well that kind of stand out as well for me with Van Helsing. He's almost like a mystic. It's like, yes, he's kind of scholarly, but he's like the first scene that you see him is in like a lecture theatre, and he's almost kind of giving a lecture with a vampire bat and showing you cute little vermin that.
Yeah. And then when he gets he's got this like slightly unhinged
that's
like she's a bride of the devil.
The
devil's concubine.
Yeah, we've cut her head off and Doctor. But the way they kind of play him up is almost kind of like a mystic. Almost kind of like a monastic feel to him. which is interesting.
It's like you say, he plays a priestly figure, like the Orthodox priest that he played in the start.
And he's got his own acolytes. He's got his own, he's got his own novices, and he even says it's you're talking like a novice to Jack, halfway through the film, so that it kind of leans into this a little bit. And I found the same, obviously Nosferatu being a telling of Dracula without calling it Dracula, but the same, with Willem Dafoe. Yeah, I can't remember who plays him in the F.W. Murnau film, but anyway, but again, they kind of lean into this. Yes, he's unhinged. He's not quite sort of one of them. He's a scholar, but he's different to all the scholars.
The main difference between Willem Dafoe and Anthony Hopkins is that Anthony Hopkins is explicitly a Christian and a Catholic.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Whereas Willem Dafoe is an alchemist. He doesn't use the cross. He doesn't.
Yeah.
He does mention Jesus, but it's kind of it's in the alchemical kind of way.
Yeah.
It's not.
And I wonder if that's a kind of like a bit of a social context that Nosferatu was, Germanic. It was made in 1920s Germany, and Bram Stoker being an Irish lad would have probably been brought up Catholic.
He was Catholic, yeah.
So there's this kind of influence there. But man, on the whole, I think it stands up really well. The way that they shoot the intro scene is like it's all in shadow to start with. It's like a silhouette. It's almost like a kind of a puppet theatre. Shadow puppet theatre.
Yeah.
And then later, when they go to the first cinema,
you can see
it again. Yeah. And again, a complete aside, but his Francis Ford Coppola's company and his Zoetrope, American Zoetrope, and they show a Zoetrope in the in the museum when they're in there. So you've got these real sort of clashes, like the old world and the old, a demon of the old world, that he's almost older than time, with this clashing of the new century and this this sort of scientific rationalism that's kind of crept in during and accelerated during the Victorian period of enlightenment.
Exactly, and I think that's what is great about the character of Van Helsing is that he's a doctor, he's a learned man, he knows his science, his medical science, but he also knows that it exists in parallel to this old world magic, and I don't want to say superstition,
but even so, they say, don't they, when they see the gypsies, like, it's superstitious. You shouldn't trust in such superstitions. So there's this real clash, and again, coming back to to fight the monster, you've got to kind of become the monster. And he said about they look like the bad guys. They're having to commit monstrous acts, like kind of Vlad did in real life, to destroy this monstrous horde that was invading Europe. He had to do some pretty messed up stuff.
And again, to bring it back to Byzantium, we're having trouble with some barbarians. What should we do? We'll get a bunch of barbarians.
Get the English in. They like a rock. But I think it stands up really well, man. I think there were bits that are a little bit goofy. There were some bits that aren't great. A bit unpolished, I think is maybe the best way of saying it. But it stands up. And I can still rewatch it and still really enjoy it. It hangs together really well as a telling. There are differences with the original material, but I think on the whole, I still really enjoy it.
There's one point I was going to make about Keanu's performance that I mentioned.
Yes.
Like it comes across a bit wooden.
Yeah.
But I think that what that really does is it really plays up to his straight-laced, reliable guy.
Stiff upper lip.
Yeah, he's got the stable job. He's a good guy. In contrast to
the boring beater.
Yeah, exactly. And then the bad boy. Right, and it just goes to show chicks love a bad boy.
They love a bad lad. They love a bad lad. Yeah, I'll change him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I rewatched it recently and I enjoyed it as much as ever. I think it's a great film.
Yeah,
it's a real gothic fairy tale, dark fairy tale. I love the way
he's kept that, hasn't he? That kind of that almost sort of that sort of fairy tale kind of quality to it.
Which, by the way, I think Suspiria had. Suspiria
definitely
really had a dark fairy tale quality.
Yeah.
From the soundtrack to the architecture to the colours, everything made you feel like you were watching like a dreamy, dark fairy tale. So.
But then, like those old sort of fairy tales, like they understood monsters.
Exactly.
Back in the day, they knew what the monsters looked like, and they were able to kind of do it in a way which really hit home to people who were listening to them.
Yeah.
So that's spooky season, man.
Yeah.
Enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, really good.
It's been a great one. Have we got any? Someone. Hello, boys. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Yeah, we're doing.
Yeah, likewise. Yeah, thanks for joining us. We're catching us on the back end, but yeah, we had a blast with this. I don't feel quite. I know it's like Halloween's tomorrow. I don't feel like I'm quite done with horror films yet. I mean, I've got a couple more in me, but yeah, man, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah,
really,
me too.
Really
it's
enjoyed
great.
it. So the question is, where do we go next?
Yeah.
You know, in terms of films with reviews. I'd like to go through some of the Nick Vinden Refn films.
Maybe we could do that. Maybe we could do a season because we could like segue with Neon Demon.
Could do. Yeah.
You know, like a bit of a horror, another horror to kind of transition us into,
Yeah.
and then we can do the ones that you recommend, like Only God Forgives.
Yeah.
And what else?
Bronson.
And Bronson.
Drive. Yeah.
And Drive.
Yeah. They're all.
So we could do a reference season.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Thanks for joining on with us.
Yeah.
I hope you guys have enjoyed it. It's been a long one, but we've had a lot to get through.
And thanks for joining in. We've had quite a bit of participation.
Yeah, that's been good. It's always good when we get guys on. So
yeah,
so yeah, good to have you with us. And we'll see you guys